All right, so we're going to get started in a minute. I'm going to be late on purpose, if that's okay with everybody. Just probably by 2 or 3 minutes. That way, if anyone shows up late, because last time people came late. Of course, people came like 45 minutes late. That's okay. Just keep on showing up. Just come on in. We'll keep on showing you the good information. So I'll just introduce myself right now, and I'll probably introduce myself again if anybody else walks in the door. My name is Dr. Kevin Jarina. I'm born and raised in a small town Tabernacle, but my family's from, almost all my family's from Collinswood and Haddonfield and Haddon Heights and this whole area. And I live right around the corner here in Oak Lynn. So I love coming here because they have farm to fork food. And this is basically, I spend all my money on food here. And occasionally a pizza down the road here once in a while, but you know. So I want to get started with just a couple of questions, or anyone's had an experience. I want to hear where you guys are. That way I can kind of meet you where you are. I don't want to talk, if I don't have anyone here that knows everything about CBD, I don't necessarily want to begin with the basics. Or if no one is into biochemistry, well, I don't want to talk chemistry. That gets kind of crazy. So do you guys have any experience with CBD, or have you read anything about CBD? I heard a little bit from you guys. Same question for you. Where do you guys come from at this point?
I've been using CBD oil.
Okay, you've been using CBD.
Yeah.
Have you just tried one kind? Have you tried multiple? Just one kind. And what has been your experience?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't feel anything different.
Don't feel anything different?
No.
How about you?
I have tried it sporadically, but not all the time. But
Okay.
I know you should. So I'm new to this.
So new. So we'll both say we're pretty much new.
Yeah.
Okay. And we have new over here. You guys have been interested. You've heard, where have you heard about it?
On the internet.
On the internet, right.
Facebook.
You're seeing posts and information, and it helps this, it helps that. Okay, okay.
Yeah, a friend of mine who lives in Florida has been trying to get me to buy this CBD, but I don't know anything about it, so I didn't want to,
Just jump right in. Yeah, well, that's a wise move. And how about yours? What's your story?
I've used it for my dog who had arthritis.
That's right.
And she did well on it for a little while, but then started refusing to take it. So she's now passed, but I have nerve damage, so I
Okay.
need to know more about what you can do for, humans. The dosage is different. And what I found with looking it up for my dog was that there were so many additives, so many different kinds. I had to sort through
Yes.
a lot of information.
Yes. Big time.
I'd like to cut that out.
Okay. Yeah, we want to get to where do we find a quality product? How do we determine where that is, and where do we get that? How about your stuff?
Yeah, I'm pretty familiar with CBD.
Okay.
Mostly looking for good, reliable sources.
Right on.
Because it's like, who knows where the stuff's coming from.
Right. So that brings up the most important part of the conversation, I think, is well, where does it come from? How is it grown? How is it manufactured? How is it getting to my body?
Is there a difference between CBD derived from hemp versus cannabis?
Yeah.
Things I'm not that familiar on that
Great.
much.
Okay, all great questions. And I saved you for last on purpose. So this is Brianna, and please give a better description. But we met at an event a few weeks ago, and I happened to know someone kind of through a few mutual connections, and we really got into a big conversation, and she really knows her stuff. So give us a little background about where you are and what company you come from as well.
Perfect. So I'm from a live market. I recently got my biomedical engineering degree, my MBA at Stevens in Hoboken. I went into this route because I didn't agree with the ideals of pharmaceutical companies. It didn't match with what I wanted to do and help people in that respect. So I kind of dove into the research behind CBD, exactly the questions you were asking about what a good product is, about what should be in the product, how to read third-party test results, what the difference between hemp versus cannabis, and the different reactions in the body and dosaging to maximize therapeutic benefits. So I basically do the same thing, right? I give talks about kind of helping people find out the right products so they can, not go online and eat 1,000 products.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Jackie, can you mind just turn it down a little bit? Appreciate it. So really what I want to do, because I feel like we have I want to bring some foundational information about what this whole thing about cannabis is, why it's important, what in our body is connected to it all. And then with that foundational information, let's get into the actual questions of how do we find a good company, how can we clarify, and then I have a little extra twist because of my specialties in my field. I can actually help match people to an effective CBD product for their individual system. So let me just continue on that thread of thought for a moment. I've really done I put a lot of effort in, and I meet a lot of people that talk about CBD and how do we find a good product. And I want to find companies that are basically have organic standards, have really high transparency in their third-party testing results, and now they're starting to be, because there was a special government bill passed that's now putting standards out there. I wanted to see what companies were on these standards, and of course there's the public list of, well, what companies are showing to have the best results. And so with that in mind, I found a couple companies here that meet my standards. And this is what I'm not selling one individual company. I feel my role as a health professional is to help people learn how, here's the analogy, learn how to fish, not just give them a fish. Okay, so I want to help you learn how to identify a healthy CBD oil, because there's more than one out there. I know there's more than one good company, because there's more than one good person out there. There's a lot of good people with the right intentions. But what comes out in the market early is oftentimes people with the wrong intentions, because it's quick, it's dirty, and it's cheap. We want something that's been tested and put through all the nutritional requirements and has really done the homework to produce a high quality product. Now, with that being said, I wrote down a couple notes that I want to talk about here. One is, CBD and what's called the endocannabinoid system. Okay, this is the system inside our body, like our nervous system, like our circulatory system. It is embedded in every cell of our body. It's like a catcher's glove. And each glove is catching a molecule, like a vitamin C or a vitamin D or any vitamin out there, but this one's specific for something called CBD or THC, also known as a cannabinoid. It's just a fancy name for a nutrient, if we're going to keep it on simple terms, okay? And our body naturally produces these molecules, these compounds, but it's also contained in plants. So one's called endo, meaning inside, and one's called phyto, meaning plant. So just like food comes from something we grow or can be found in nature, and we eat it, and it can help that system. But at the same time, our body can produce it if necessary. But the tank can get empty on the inside, and that's why eating it and ingesting it and using it in different ways can be highly helpful. And today, with all the toxins and stresses and physical challenges, where our body is under more work than, some people say more than ever before. So we need to feed ourselves more quality, highly pure, and a lot of it to get the benefits that our body needs. Okay, so let's not jump too far ahead. We have this system inside our body. It's called the cannabinoid system. Our body produces these chemicals within, and we have things that we can ingest to help this system work better. So what have you guys heard as far as what does it help? You said it helped with your dog?
Oh yeah, she has arthritis.
Arthritis. You've heard about that. It helps with arthritis. It's good for humans too in that way, is what we're seeing in the research. Now you have a little more education here. What else have you heard that it helps with?
Chronic pain and sleeping problems.
Yep. Chronic pain, sleeping problems. What else? Anybody else heard anything?
Anxiety.
Anxiety, yes.
All this.
All those things. Where I personally am most interested is traumatic brain injury and PTSD. It's because that's my life.
I never knew it was for PTSD.
Yes, big time. I have over 10 concussions. I have thousands of head hits. I had multiple surgeries to my face from knocking things out with sports and not sports. And I have had a classic, if anyone's ever seen the movie, The Concussion by Will Smith, I'm like one of those guys. And CBD oil, as well as other techniques in chiropractic, have helped me free myself from those symptoms. Now, it's not all days are good and not all days are bad. Anxiety, depression, PTSD, things can trigger. But with what these products are showing is that it can help neutralize or balance. So if you're high, it brings you back down to even keel. If you're low, it brings you back to even keel. So this is the interesting thing about this whole conversation of CBD and the endocannabinoid system is that wherever you are, high or low, it brings you back towards even. It's pretty remarkable. Now, you said you really haven't noticed that much of an effect. Well, this is really a key piece of the conversation. You see, there's something in cannabis, which is the marijuana plant, and I want you to help provide a better definition between hemp versus cannabis. I believe it's the THC
It's
percentage.
Like 100% THC. There also is a difference between, it's called industrialized hemp, which is something they use to make textiles, ropes, and such, whereas cannabis has more of a different cannabinoid profile that gives you more therapeutic effects than a textile type hemp.
So what she's saying is that thank bless you, in the category of cannabinoids, there's many varieties. In fact, now, I looked up this morning, because it changes almost every week now, there's 113 different cannabinoids, okay? That means 113 different kinds of vitamins that can help this system. You may need one, she may need a different one. You may need a different one. So a CBD oil that helps her may not help you. Now, I want you guys to think about an orange. Okay, close your eyes for me, all right? See that color of that orange, hold that orange in your hand, okay? Now, take the other hand and scratch the surface of that orange and start to smell that citrusy mist. In fact, I'm wondering if your mouth is watering right now as you're thinking about that orange. So open it up and see that color, feel that color, taste that color. Okay. Now that you've enjoyed that, hopefully you like oranges, number one. Maybe I should have asked that question first. But the point is, what you smelled, that citrusy category, and everything has it. We could go to a spearmint plant or anything really. It has a smell. That's called a terpene. Okay, it gives us that quality. And these different terpenes, they give things different smells, and it actually triggers all these health effects. And different types of terpenes do different types of health benefits. And some are better for anxiety, and some are better for diabetes. Are you okay?
Yeah, I have bad sciatica right now.
So stand up. Stand up. Sit on this one over here. It's a higher chair.
Oh my gosh.
So it's not just that we're getting CBD oil in our system, or even THC in our system, or even both. It's also what terpene profile. So now it starts to get into the whole, it's like aromatherapy. Each aroma has a different effect. That's exactly right. Thank you. So every aroma, bonus points. You get the first test. Okay. So this is the conversation topic we need to understand, because right now this is not being put out there in any Facebook posts I really see, besides really sciencey type people. Okay. So when someone says CBD didn't work for me, well, that's not the truth. They didn't find the right variety. Okay. So with that being said, our system, it's like a nutrient, it's like air, it's like water. We need it. Our body's going to benefit from it. And when our symptoms, whatever they're going, high or low, even from whether it's pain or digestive concerns, sleep issues, breathing issues, everything in the medical literature is up for grabs now, because this system affects all systems. It's so amazing. The best analogy I've heard to date is like a children's mobile. You know the thing you hang above their head and it's got that wire hanging down, it's got the straight posts that come across and something else hangs down from it. Well, imagine that little mobile has like 300 little trinkets hanging off of it. And if I move one trinket, well, they all move in some type of balancing, weird movement pattern, but it's all in relationship, it's all hanging from one string. Well, where each of those strings and poles come together, the joints, if they get stiff and rusty, well, nothing will move. It'll all be like cranky and rickety and rusted. Okay, it wouldn't move, it would be stiff. Well, CBD is like the oil that loosens everything up. That's the endocrine system. Excuse me, not the endocrine system, the endocannabinoid system. So that's how I've been seeing this and how I am looking at how the body and cannabis and THC and CBD all work together. So, and one of the other things I really hear out there, it's kind of, I don't like I feel it's like a social agenda somehow, is like every time someone mentions CBD, in the same conversation is THC, which is when most people are aware that that's the thing that gets you high. Well, that also has benefits. See, it's not just get you high for fun. It has psychological benefits. It helps people with head injuries, actually. It helps people with psychosis, and it helps people with different seizure disorders. So THC, yes, it does get you high, that effect that people use and can misuse like any medicine out there. But it has very well-researched documented benefits. And now that things have been legalized in some sense, now we can really begin the deep research and really begin to understand the system. By the way, this system is only what, like endocannabinoids were only 50?
92?
Yeah, so this is a young science. And people in the science are very excited because it's like a whole new territory. No one really knows how it operates. No one really understands it at its fullest. And all the best research, the people who've been looking at it the most, is coming out of Israel. This is where the foundational, I guess, I don't know, maybe less regulations, less stigma. They're into really getting to know the facts. Okay, so I'm gonna take a pause right there. I said a lot. Let's answer any questions. Let's go a little deeper, or let's get into actually testing some of the products. And what I mean by testing, that's a little bit of another conversation, but I'm gonna, if you choose, I'll match you with one. If one of these 4 varieties matches you, we'll find that out today. And I can with 99.9% confidence, be happy that this will have a huge impact on your life within the next couple of days. So, what questions can I answer right away? And then I'll talk about the testing if there's no additional questions. Do you have any questions right now at this point? So you're more clear on hemp versus cannabis. Yeah, so cannabis has a different, we use the word profile. So it's like a description of, so higher THC content in cannabis.
It just has more of those cannabinoids. So the ones that are more ropes and textiles, they have less cannabinoids in those. The more cannabinoids, the more interdependencies that it can help have a more robust therapeutic effect.
Right, there you go. Okay.
So the way the laws are set up now to sell CBD, does it have to be manufactured from hemp, or does it have to be just low in THC content?
That's a great question. It's anything under 0.3% THC is considered industrialized hemp, but there still is a difference between industrialized hemp in terms of textiles.
Right.
But there is cannabis, for instance, like the live market that is cannabis-driven CBD.
Right.
A lot of times when you're looking on products, if it says it's made from seeds and stalks, that's a lower grade product that does not have much CBD or the cannabinoid
That's what I came
profile.
across trying to read.
Yeah. Seeds and stalks are not.
Yeah, so where are you getting so what happens is when it's not full, so you have to use a lot of material. Well, with that, you have to use a lot of solvents and toxins to pull out the CBD. So if it comes from seed and stalk, well, it's going to have more pollutants in the CBD product. The additives, right.
It'll be heavy and dense in taste because most of the chlorophyll lies within the stalks of the plants.
Yeah.
And that's what gives you that kind of nasty dirt taste. You're like, what am I taking?
Yeah.
It should never be an
How do you
experience.
figure out which CBD is good for what particular ailment?
Well, there's still,
Somebody else's ailment's going to be totally
right.
different than-
So what I would simply do, number one, is start to understand the topics of cannabinoids and terpenes. Okay, so a terpene is like the aromatherapy, and you can just Google search terpenes and their effects.
Okay, and I'm very sensitive to smells, so that would not attract me at all. But it might be helpful to somebody with anxiety.
Well, it's not about the smell, okay? You may not smell it or not. What it's about is the health effect it's going to have on the inside. Each terpene has a different health effect on you. So you're looking for a specific condition, you have to find the specific terpene profile that matches your condition. Now, I'm saying a lot of things. I'm going to make this offer right away. I'm going to give you all my business cell phone number to text me your question. And that way I can text you back a proper answer. That way you can look it up and follow through versus just hearing it now and kind of getting lost in all the minutia of it all.
Full spectrum is also something to look for.
Yeah, so let's talk about that stuff.
Yeah.
So there's the full spectrum,
Broad spectrum
Broad-
and isolate.
and isolate.
Isolate means they've taken CBD itself out, so there's no other cannabinoids except for CBD. There's one. So it's kind of the same thing if you have a bag of spinach and you take vitamin K out, you need 1,500 milligrams of vitamin K. Not as effective as you eating the whole bag of spinach. The whole bag of spinach is called full spectrum.
So you want full spectrum. You don't want the isolate. In nutritional sciences, okay, so basically what I'm telling people is get off your supplements. They're hurting you. There's a wonderful audio about this whole topic. And essentially when we isolate a specific vitamin from an apple or from an orange, well, nature packaged it with all its other components. And when we isolate it out, well, it's now missing all the other ingredients needed for our body to utilize that vitamin C appropriately. So that's why full spectrum, or you may have heard in supplements, whole food supplementation. This is important because it gives you the entire package needed for your body to digest and operate and use the touted benefit of the vitamin C, or in this case, the CBD. So we want the full spectrum, we don't want the isolate. Now you said another term,
Broad spectrum?
broad spectrum.
That means zero THC.
Zero
That's
THC.
only if you zero THC. So full spectrum does have trace amounts of THC, not enough to get you high. Even if you did have a lot of THC, CBD overrides the dominance of THC, so you're not getting as much head high. But broad spectrum is zero THC. The only reason you'd want to do something like that is if you have a super big contract with your jobs or something like that. But having those trace amounts of THC does help the therapeutic a lot in that respect of giving you whatever type of relief you need, especially with depressions, anxieties, insomnias and stuff. It kind of helps you get that relaxation and calming down, even with the pain. So broad is just, it's not as effective, but it's, if you have restrictions with
Go ahead.
With regard to, you're saying don't take vitamins.
That's a very broad statement. There are very good vitamins out there that people can take and should take. A vast majority are full of pollutants and are not appropriate for the human body. I'm sorry. I'll pass. So when I give you the number, you're going to text me, send me the vitamin audio, and I know exactly what that is. So in fact, let's get that right.
Sometimes there's if you have an endocrine problem with your adrenals, they say, you got to dose up and take vitamin C.
Agreed.
So
Agreed.
you're saying don't do that?
Not all vitamin C is created equal. So when you go to a vitamin store, how many different varieties of vitamin C are there?
How about Young Living?
Young Living. Well, I do know Young Living. And so I can't say yes for every person because not all people will benefit from that version of vitamin C. And Young Living, I don't know, I had to look at it again, but there's some conversation. So everyone's heard or read the back of a box that says vitamin C, ascorbic acid. Okay? I want you to have the understanding that ascorbic acid is the equivalent of the eggshell of the egg, but does not contain the white or the yellow part of the egg. Ascorbic acid is only a piece of the whole complement of vitamin C. So if Young Living's vitamin C is derived from ascorbic acid, it's actually harming you. What happens is now your body only gets a piece of the vitamin C. Well, now it has to go into its resources, and it drains the resources to process that vitamin C, and probably a synthetic vitamin C. So now it's like chewing on plastic when I thought it was a piece of fruit. And it takes longer, and it uses all my body's resources to digest that vitamin C, and then it finally uses it, and now I'm worse off because of it. Most vitamins are killing us.
You can actually have electric reactions to that.
Right. So this is a Dr. Toby Well, I know Young Living, I understand that company, and some things are quality, some things are questionable. Not all things are created equal. So this is a great introduction. So I usually start by sharing this analogy of, rubbing your feet on the carpet and shocking your partner with your fingertip. We are electrical. I have this toy I brought, but I'm not going to pull it out. And if we all held hands and I touched one electrode and you touched the other, it would light up, and demonstrating that we're passing a signal and we're completing a circuit. But that being said, I have, in my practice, I practice a technique called applied kinesiology. And simply what happens is when something in your system is strengthening you, your body gets strong, your muscles stay strong. When I introduce something to your system, if it's causing your body stress, your body gets weak and your muscles cannot stay weak, and I can test you in that moment to determine if your body's strong or weak. And then there's some nuances in identifying if it's a false positive or not, meaning is it a true test or a fake test? And this is why I have different tools here. And what I'm going to offer anyone who chooses is to match you with a CBD oil today by testing your electrics with the oil, the energy of the oils here. And I did it I did it for her at the workshop. Where was that? That was a weekend event. And Jackie, she'll tell you her story. I did it here for her last time I did a workshop. And this is what I do with all my patients when I'm matching them and their health issues with certain nutrients. Because not all vitamins are created the same. Not all vitamin companies create the same company. And so I have 1, 2, 3, and I just got introduced to a live market. So I'm going to give you the floor for a moment. Share a little bit about a live market. And I'm really intrigued for a number of reasons. One, because of the process in which it extracts the CBD, it allows for, let's use this term, a fuller spectrum. It includes more of the CBDs, but it's also, correct me if I'm wrong, all organic, from soil to seed to oil, is pure as process can be. So please introduce a live market if you could.
Sure. So a live market, we're not only into the organics of that company, but in terms of the soil. So even though we're talking, you're eating vegetables and that's awesome, but in terms of the nutrients you're even stripping from these vegetables these days is not nearly as much as you used to because we're stripping soil. A live market doesn't actually use any tilling machinery to harvest our crops. So there's no alkaline traces in the product itself. We're also leaving that topsoil to regenerate for other soils and have all natural, non-synthetic soils, non-synthetic pesticides or anything like that. So it's completely called Organic Plus. We use ethanol extraction to get the CBD out. It's the only extraction method that can get the 2 water-soluble constituents of that full spectrum profile. It gets tested in the soil. It gets tested when it gets into the CBD distillate, which looks kind of like a honey. And then again after the full product is made. So that we can tell, you should always look for a third-party lab testing on any product. If they're not easily accessible to you, it's a red flag. It should tell you the THC content, the CBD content, and the other cannabinoid profile, as well as the residuals, microbials, pesticides. You should be able to access that for any batch that is released. Every and any batch release should have that easily accessible to you.
So if you can't find that, skip that company immediately.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Also, we have 2 ingredients, CBD and coconut oil. You shouldn't have more than that. We also have a peppermint. There's 3. It's an in-house peppermint essential oil, and it's also kosher, vegan, organic certified. If you get a CBD oil and there's 100 items in there, yeah, you're getting CBD, but you're getting like so many other things that could actually interact. And the reason you want organic, I'm not even preaching you have organic everything in your life, but hemp is a bioaccumulator. What that means is it literally sucks everything into the soil. So when you can actually offset the way that it interacts with your body when you have these chemicals in it. So a live market focuses on giving you pure, transparent products, even down to the color and quality when you pull it out. Your CBD should be very light tinted and you should be able to see through it. It should be clear. Those are key things to look for when you're looking at CBD across the board. And that's kind of how I got involved with this company because it matched every one of those ideal factors for me. And then again, we're out here doing education on the East Coast. We also have a hub in California, but here's where that education is a little different. It's not as easy accessible. Even when you look online, top best CBD companies, a lot of those companies are paid to be on that top 10 list, to be on those things. So how would you know? Me? Oh, okay. So you can definitely taste the difference in different CBD companies. Again, you should never be like, God, I gotta take my CBD again. It should not be an experience like that. But thank you.
Thank you so much. So you brought up a couple of really amazing points there about the bioaccumulation of cannabis and how important the soil is, and therefore the testing, the third-party testing. So some of these things are complicated to look at, but you can work it out, and hopefully, and Google and YouTube are pretty amazing. You can see people review each company. You can read about a lot of things, and now you have her and I for resources. We can absolutely help answer any questions and point you in the right directions. So let me just give you a few points about what else I have here. The federal government just released their level of standards, just like organic. What is it called? FDA organic standards. I don't know if the USDA organic. But nonetheless, this company is one of the 13 companies that had approved, that got approved at that level. And I'm sure next time they run the tests, or next time they do the process, there'll be a bunch more that get on that list. But right now, there's 13 that have qualified, and this is one of those 13. This is the current company I'm using right now. Although I haven't had any CBD oil because I ran out 4 days ago, so I'm going to crack open one of these today and start taking it because I'm itching for it. This is a company out of Chicago. It's kind of like a live market where everything from seed to soil to oil is all controlled by the company. Organic. This is certified raw, vegan, organic, GMP standard facility, and the testing is getting completed right now. I just know the owner personally. He's a doctor I went to school with. This is a company within chiropractic. This is one of the biggest. And not only chiropractic, but acupuncture. Come on in. Acupuncture, herbalism. This is one of the biggest companies out there. It's standard process. They have a 1,000-acre organic farm up in Wisconsin. I even went there. I went to the science facilities, the testing facilities. They produce phenomenal things. And this is their version of hemp oil infused with something else that helps the liver, because the liver is what processes a lot of the CBD products. So this is for. And by the way, the liver is probably one of the most taxed organs in our current society. So this is a double whammy, help your liver, help your whole body. But not everyone tests strong with this one, and not everyone tests strong with this one. And of the three that I routinely test, this is the one that tests the best. And I haven't tested anyone yet with yours. So I'm really excited to have a couple samples to do that with people. So with that being said, yes.
After what you said about what the additives are in your line, what would be considered normal things that you would see on an ingredients list? Like, you don't want 100 ingredients, but what's
Fat
normal?
carrier oil.
Yeah.
Which is coconut oil. Sometimes you see like a flax oil or hemp seed oil. They're not as efficient in terms of bioavailability.
Coconut's the best, right?
Coconut is the best because it has a short to medium chain. The shorter the chain, the easier it is to get through your cells. And that's what you're going to want to see. You might see a flavor here and there. If there's some kind of crazy flavor, there's something to be a little warned of on that, because you don't know what that flavoring consists of. But usually, I mean, we have original peppermint. That's a fine one. Sometimes you see like a lemon or citrus, so it's okay. But if it's like blueberry, yum, like it's a little
What do you
intense.
mean when you say seed to soil?
So if you pick up a plant, the literal soil, the seed itself. You know, if I had like an acorn, that's a seed of an oak tree or something. The seed, the soil. They know that they own the farm, they own the soil. They've done all the organic standards. They feed the soil the right way. So they plant the seed, which they know and control where it comes from. They know the genetic strain of the seed. They plant that in the soil, which they control, and then to oil. The process of putting it to so soil to seed to soil to oil.
Oh, okay. Because I mean, Young Living says seed to seal.
Seed to seal,
Which is
right?
basically-
Same idea.
Right.
Yeah, just a marketing
Here,
catchy
you
phrase.
said
Yeah,
soil.
yeah. This, I'm hearing our conversation. I'm like, I'm looking at some of the things, and nonetheless, the more you learn, the more you're like upset with yourself from other decisions. So, with that being said, does anyone want to try getting tested to see what matches right away? You put your hand up first, so let's come on up.
Oh, she won. She won something.
Oh wow, she won. She did win. Okay, so I'm going to explain a little bit. All right, so this is going to be a little boring for anyone who's not being a participant, but I'm going to walk everyone through it. So essentially, let me see your hand. Do you have any pain in this hand when you pinch your fingers?
No.
Okay, hold them together. Hold them together. You feel the power that you had? Okay, now take this hand and touch right there on top of your head with that hand, right there. You feel the power difference?
Yeah.
Okay. Now that's supposed to happen. That's a spot that's supposed to make your body go weak.
Really?
This is acupuncture stuff now. Okay.
Cool.
This has to do with the energy flow around the surface of the skin. And so now what I'm going to do is have you hold an oil against your chest. Now it's like, well, how can you test an oil? It's in a glass bottle. What we're talking about is the electromagnetic signatures.
I believe
All right, that's fine. All right, good. Glad you believe.
I'm all about the oils. Maybe not now.
Well,
I'm
so
scared of young living now.
well, it's with every company. They're going to have oils that are processed phenomenal and they're high quality and they're great. And in some oils, well, they're not sourced the best quality way, and hopefully they are. But for me, because I've learned these techniques, and I got to tell you, maybe there's 1,000 doctors in the world that know this, what I'm talking about. So with that being said, every company I've tested has at least something that works for somebody. So maybe for you, some of those oils work great and some of them won't. And I'll get a different one. I don't know, for whatever reasons, all kinds of interesting things. Okay, for whatever reason, I think I forgot something, but that's okay.
You can't test them?
I can. So hold this right here. Pinch your finger. Okay. Hold. Now I gotta find out something that's gonna make your body get stressed. I'm trying to stress you.
Oh, that should be easy.
Okay, green, okay. Hold this against your body, right there. Okay, pinch your fingers and hold. Now that didn't even hold, okay? Hold that one against your body. Okay, that one held. Hold that one against your body. That one did not hold. And hold this one. Right there, good. And hold. Good, that one held too. So I said you were green, correct? Mm-hmm. Hold that right there. Your body held. And hold this one. And it did not. So a live market is the big winner. So if I'm going to recommend of the 4 that we have today, I don't know how many companies are out there, but really at this point I've found maybe 20 that are probably worth it. This is the number 1 for you. All right. So what you're going to do, I'm going to give everyone the phone number, and then you'll text me, and you're going to say, I want info on a live market, and I'm going to text you back info on the links and how to get and everything like that. Yeah. Okay. All right. Who's next? Big winner. You're next. Are you a UMass person?
My daughter graduated.
Oh, all right. I went to the University of Delaware, and I driven up there all the time, play football up there. They had good teams. Oh, it's so much fun. Okay, so let me have you feel your hand first. Any pain or problems here? Okay, pinch this. Hold strong. Good. I'm going to test you. Perfect. Okay, now I'm going to find out your color. So hold here. Here's the color chart.
Perfect.
Okay, what was that color? I lost my train of thought. Blue. Okay. All right, so hold that against your chest. And hold. That's a good one for you. Nope. And hold. Okay. Standard process. So when I give you the number.
I'm going to take a picture of that.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So look at your phone. I'll let you hold that.
And without even knowing what I need to use it for, that.
I'll explain. Yes, I can.
Okay, so explain that.
One moment. You mean my technique with what I'm doing? Okay. You next? Sure. All right. What was your name again, sir? Scott. Kevin. All right, Scott. First, hand, don't touch yourself. This hand pinch there and hold. Keep your fingers together and hold. Good. Okay. You felt that power difference? Yeah, let's try again so you feel it. That's you, normal power. And hold.
Yeah.
Feel that difference? Isn't that weird? Mm-hmm. When I first felt that, I was like, I thought my mind was blown. Okay, hold that against your chest right there. And hold. That was good for you. Let me find out your color here.
We do essential oils too, and a lot of times.
Okay, red. Okay.
Try green too.
Yeah, I do. Do it. Give it a try. Yeah, absolutely. Let's be scientific here. Okay, it's nice and strong. Red. So let me explain the colors real quickly. The colors represent a what's called genetic expression. Okay, and everybody in their life, one color will make you go weak. This just tells me where the weak chain in your link is, if I could give you an analogy that way. Meaning everyone has strengths in their genetics and everyone has weaknesses in their genetics. And based on what color your body goes weak to, gives me the trend in which your body could be susceptible. So someone who's a red color, they're more susceptible towards heart disease type issues, diabetic type issues, vascular type issues. People who are greens, or what was that, wheat? Chemical sensitivities. And there's a couple of sensitivities. And blues are the milk product sensitivities. So it doesn't mean if you're a red, you couldn't be sensitive to milk. It just means you're probably not going to have a external expression. You won't have an outward problem with it. It just, people lean one way or the other, and this helps me categorize that. So in general, I'll know where and whose body has a problem handling mercury. This is the whole conversation of vaccination. Some people handle it fine. Some people can't handle mercury at all. And same with milk and cheeses. People can eat cheese all day long and there's no problem. But other people have one whiff, forget it. They're done. Red, right?
Yep.
Okay, so that was good for you. Let's put this one on there. Hold. And keep holding strong. Good. Hold that one. Nope. Okay. And hold. Nope. Okay. So one of these two. Okay. Now there's another test I have, but I guess I forgot the piece of equipment. But would help me delineate that a little better. Actually, here we can do this. Yes. Do you have a cell phone? Mm-hmm. It's already on your pocket. Don't worry, the test's already there then. Okay. Here's what we're gonna do.
I don't know if you redded me on that one.
Let's do that. Put that right there. Hold right there. No, it's good. Here's what we're going to do. You're going to stand just like this with your body next to the bottle. And then I'll tell you to take a step back and we'll do a test. And then I'll take a step back and do another test. Okay?
All right.
So stand right in front of that. Let me see this hand. Pinch. Let's use your right hand. That's what you were using. Okay. Just to double check. Okay, take a nice big step back right there. Again. Okay, step forward a little bit. That's good right there. Okay. Okay, so actually I'm going to put that right there. Now step forward again. Okay, back up. And back up. And back up. Well, he can keep going.
Am I in the zone on
You're
that
past the zone. Well, technically, maybe yes, but keep going. I'm telling you, this is the one. This is it. This is it.
I don't know. You have to give this guy a commission.
Well, see, she taught me more about CBD in a couple sentences than I've heard elsewhere. So that company, you've really interested me. I'm super intrigued. So, like I said, if this is something that, if you're not sure, because this is obviously not the normal testing people would see. This is very unique in the chiropractic profession. In chiropractic, if I am going to give you a spectrum of style of chiropractors, there's very mechanical, meaning very posture-based, and there's people that are into a lot of nutrition, there's people into a lot of the emotions and electrics of the human body, and I'm really into the electrics of the human body. And so this is how I found out and discovered all these techniques around light and sound and vibration and how they affect our health. And this is how I got into identifying things without using blood work and things like that. However, with that being said, don't take my word for it. Don't believe a word I'm saying, all right? Please. Last thing I'm gonna do is get in trouble that way. But what I mean is, do your due diligence. And do you have taste samples or like small samples like this one?
I
things
have
like
in my
that?
car. I mean, I think this one is.
And well, I'm going to crack a bottle open of the 750 Hemp Works, and then I want to get a bottle off of her for myself. But yeah, I hope you did. So who's next? Who wants to get tested next? Yep, come on down.
This is what it should look like. Hemp oil drops. Unless the carrier oil is hemp seed oil, because that's a more of a green. It should be transparent. What do you
Hold your hand like that. Pinky finger.
Anything that you inhale increases your risk
Hold.
of infection.
Hold.
Also, it's very
Hold.
hard to monitor
Okay.
the milligrams that you're inducing. Oh, that was a big puff. What does that mean? 10 milligrams? 150 milligrams? How are you going to register in your mind if that was helping you or not?
Green.
It's hard to monitor.
Okay.
Whereas this is
All right, hold that against your chest, right with your right hand, your left hand, right in the middle,
cool.
and
Whole
hold.
dropper full is 25 milligrams. Cool. It's easy
Hold.
to figure that out.
Okay, that's a good one.
From cannabis?
Cannabis. It is sourced from cannabis. We use a cherry wine strain. That's another thing that you were describing about the terpenes.
Not
Even
that
though
one.
it says it might be full spectrum, and all these products say full spectrum, the reason one might work for you and one might not is because we use a cherry wine strain. Another company
Not that one.
uses a Gorilla Glue strain or something, so that strain
Interesting circles of people I travel with, so to speak. So reach out to me. Let's get a picture, and maybe we can give you some podcast info.
What's your, what do you call yourself there? I can tag you in the photo. Are you Kevin?
Yeah, Dr. Kevin G. What service you in there?
Instagram.
Yeah, Dr. Kevin G. Maybe all one word. There it is. That's the one right
this
there.
one.
Mhm. That's the one. Oh yeah. Yeah, then I'll tag you back, or I'll follow back.